game. Preview this week's game against Cookman.
Do I have to? Oh, okay. Nah, but shoot, it was a tough one to take on the chin there. Very explosive football team in Texas State. You know, we knew we had to play our best football game going up in there, a team that dominated and beat a Baylor team. You know, so we didn't do that. You know, defense didn't make them punt the entire game. Our special teams again has been a thorn in our side. The one bright side was the offense, though, to generate 34 points. You know, Jason played well. The offensive line played solid. We had some receivers that did some good stuff, but excited to be back in conference play. Looking forward to being back in the vet this weekend. Red Out, WC Garden Classic. We know for a football team, everyone counts. Every game counts from here on out. But we'll take that game, put it behind us, and look forward to this weekend.
Go ahead, Jeff. How beneficial not having to travel this week be?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, we feel good about it. We feel good about it. You know, we can prepare here all week and not have to load up on the buses. You know, go over there and get on airplanes and getting up and down, checking in the hotels. I get to sleep in my bed, you know, with my wife the night before the game. You know, see my kids the night before the game. It's gonna be a blessing, and we've been looking forward to it. It's been a tough month. You know, a tough month on the road playing against quality football teams, but we're very excited about being back at home.
Coach, can you talk about the experience or your feelings about being the coach right now in the tunnel as a head coach now at the vet as opposed to being a player?
I look forward to it. You know, I look forward to making that walk out of the locker room and just seeing that crowd for the first time, you know, and I know they're excited about seeing this football team. That's why we're going to work our butts off this week, you know, and prepare for a Bethune-Cookman team like it's a championship game. But I'm excited about it everywhere I go. You know, fans are talking about it. So it's the talk of the town right now, being back in Jackson, and I just can't wait to, you know, break out that tunnel with that football team behind me. So I'm excited.
I know you talked about that you didn't get the win and you didn't necessarily play the best football, but you have to be somewhat excited from the aspect of you scored 34 points on a team like that. Talk about some of the I guess the strengths or the good things that came out of that.
We were 5 or 6 in the red zone. You know, we hadn't been able to score touchdowns in the red zone, and I think one of them was a drop, so we should have been 6 for 6. We moved the ball up and down the field against a very potent, fast, physical defense. Excited about Jason Brown coming around. He's steady playing good football. You know, the week before he played a solid game against Southern, and to go out there and make some plays. Seven McGee is starting to turn the curve a little bit. You know, he's getting his legs back under him. But very pleased with the offense. You know, they was up and down the field, did what we need them to do, solid on third down. So definitely something we can build on going into this one.
You mentioned 7 there. Is it just you guys are trying to slowly work him back from the injury?
Yeah.
To kind of ramp him up anytime soon?
Yeah, I mean, we plan on, you know, really using him this week, but he had to get used to toting that brace around, you know, with the knee situation. So we just wanted to make sure we could see the explosion that we've been seeing, you know, previously in camp. I think the Southern game, we just asked him to return punts and maybe put him in on 1 or 2 offensive plays, and then on a third down situation, I think in the other night he was able to, you know, run a slant right out our empty set, you know, really accelerated upfield. So he'll be more of the plan this week, you know, as well as some other guys. You think about Ahmad Miller, you know, the freshman running back, came out there and had a great football game, rushed for close to 100 yards, if not 100 yards, but he ran the football very hard. So there's some guys we're excited about on that offensive side of the ball. That the thing that I'm looking for, what I told the offensive staff and the players, is I'm just waiting for that offensive explosion. You know, we've been around the 28-point, 30-something point range. You know, we're capable of getting 40, 50 points if everything is clicking on all cylinders.
Were you able to see the 60 Minutes piece on Colorado?
I did.
One of the other coaches here at Jackson State had a problem with the way that Jackson was portrayed on a couple of the pictures. Did you have an issue with any of that?
It gave a bad look on Jackson, I thought, just being honest with you. You know, it did give a bad look on Jackson. And, you know, Jackson got some plenty of bright spots. You know, plenty of bright spots. There's some good things going on here in the city, you know, with this program, with Jackson State in itself. So, you know, when you see things like that and then how they kind of portrayed it, you know, they the media, they can control the narrative. But, you know, if you from here, you were born and raised here, you know what the city of Jackson is all about, as well as the state of Mississippi.
Coach, how do you get your defense's morale up? I mean, they didn't stop them at all. They did that.
shoot, I just told them you got to stick together. You know, that's something that this game and the FAM game was a game that I didn't recognize my defense. You know, they didn't fly to the ball with 11 hats to the ball, things that we preach. We did get one turnover, but when you allow a team to just go up and down the field at will, that's not acceptable. As a head coach, I won't accept it at any time in this season. They know they got to be better. We just come off the practice field. They had a very physical practice, and that's what I told them. When you out there having fun, flying around, hitting people, that's when we are at our best. That game there, we got hit in the mouth, and they just kind of took the blunt of the blow. We can't be that going forward. For us to play the way we played the previous week against Southern and then come out there against a Power 5 opponent, I still expected the same effort.
Coach, also to follow up, can you talk about that? It was a little chippy, but with a minute left, they could have went in the victory formation, and they were still trying to get 400 yards plus and 700 yards. I mean, was that a little personal? Or?
No, because if they're still going, we got to keep going. That's how I look at it. You know, if they're still going, we got to keep going. And then you got to look at it on that level. What they're trying to do is vouch and position themselves for bowl appearances and rankings and stuff. But if I told the defense, if they steady trying to score, we got to have the mindset that we're steady trying to get them off the football field.
What was your message to your special teams?
We got to be better. It's a bunch of guys up there that's not taking pride in it, not playing fast. The number one thing, the word for the week is effort. You know, everybody seems like they're sitting around waiting for the next guy to make the tackle. You know, it's got to be 11 hats to the ball, including the kickers and the punters. But that in our losses, that's been the reason. You know, even against the Southern team, that they had the one punt return. You know, this short field. You look at Texas State; they were playing from a short field all night because of what we were doing on punt and our kickoff return unit. So, my special teams coordinator, those players, you know, it's all hands on deck this week to get that fixed and put our defense in the right situations.
Coach, overall, how you just feeling about, like you said, returning conference play, got a good sample size of games, good amount of film against quality opponents.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, you're waiting for the offensive explosion, the defense is like here and there. Overall, do you feel like, especially with this home game, you feel like you guys can maybe go on a run here?
No, that's the plan. You know, we looking to get back in conference play and dominate the rest of this football schedule. I still believe we have a talented roster. You know, top to bottom, we got some dudes that can really play the game. You know, being on the road 4 games, it was tough, but it is what, you know, that was the hand we were dealt as a football team. So to come out of it 2-2, we feel like we could have been a little bit better, but to come out of it 500, going into conference play, I feel good about it. And like I said, with the things that I've seen against conference teams, HBCU teams, with the South Carolina States, the Southern team, and FAM, second half, we shut them out. You know, I still think I know this football team still has a chance, you know, to finish strong, you know, in these next 7 games.
Coach, can you talk about on the SWAC call, you talked about your recruiting. This game opened your eyes up for recruiting receivers, offensive, defensive linemen. Can you expound on that?
I mean, if you're going to be playing against them kind of guys, you got to have those kind of guys. You look at that offensive line they had over there, I think they averaged like 6'5", 6'6", 340, 330 pounds. So if you want to play against those Power 5 teams, those type of games, you got to have those kind of players. And that's what we're moving towards. You know, we had a solid recruiting class this past year, but we got to continue to get length, you know, size on the O-line, D-line, guys that got length at the receiver, the cornerback position. And they did it in a year, though. You know, if you look at it, Texas State was the number 2 transfer class behind Colorado, and you saw it out there. You know, had a 6'7" quarterback that could really spin it. Behind him was a kid from Arkansas that had blazing speed. So, you know, we're just going to continue to recruit hard, you know, and try to get those kind of bodies in here because we know how it's supposed to look, especially if you're going to have to play those teams every year.
Any thoughts on the Bethune matchup?
The Florida boys. You know, Florida boys, they can run. You know, that's what I told the team. We're going to have to really, you know, be where we're supposed to be in our gaps defensively. We've got to play fast and just take it all in as far as playing at home. You know, and understand that this crowd want to see some good football this weekend. I want to see some good football this weekend. And, you know, they got some guys over there, like I said, at the receiver position that can really flat foot fly. The defensive ends on the D-line, there's some guys that can get after it. So it should make for a good football game. But if we got to bring our A game like I know we will, you know, we'll be able to separate.
It's been a long time coming, Coach, but it's finally your home debut as the head coach of Jackson State. Just what are you feeling emotionally leading up to this game?
I'm just taking it day to day, you know, day by day. I don't want to get to the game and we're not prepared. You know, starting with today's practice, we put in all our game plans and start getting the guys used to it, you know, and just get back out here tomorrow, next practice, Thursday, next practice. And, you know, when that time comes, you know, I'm going to come out with some juice, though. I'm really looking forward to it, but I know still in all when we get to that point, this football team got to be ready to play all the things that we talked about, defense, special teams, offense, and everything else. We got to be ready to play a complete football game this weekend.
How you guys doing health-wise? Is like J.D. Martin all right? Any injuries?
We still got some guys banged up, you know, but for us, it's next guy up. But you'll never hear me complain about that. You know, we still a team. You know, that's why we recruited the way we recruited. I think the depth to get us over. You saw some guys step up the other day. Like I said, Ahmad Miller. We getting Seven McGee back. Sir Riley is back on the offensive line. So I'm not going to talk about. I'm not going to complain about the guys that are injured. You know, just concentrate on the guys that'll be on the football field and get those guys ready to go.
Do it. Coach, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all, man. All right.